Peak, and this is our trusty Seed Chevy pickup 4x4. Here we are going east on I-40, headed for the canyon. Now we're winding up through the canyon on South 14, oh, just a couple of miles south of Tijeras. About the first real view of Capilla, although you can't see much of it from right here. It's just disappearing behind that hill. Now we're on the eastbound or westbound road headed towards Torreon. That's Capilla Peak in the center of the picture. I don't know if you can see the color, but the mountains are looking really red. The oaks and everything are really turning now. That's over toward Bosque Peak. Back down towards the rest of the Manzano south of Capilla. Going west right now. Once again, that's Capilla Peak. We're coming into Tajique in a little bit. I just thought I'd try a telephoto shot and see what kind of a picture I get. Wow, it's hard to hold. That's the fire lookout on the top, and then that next hill to the left is where the observatory is. The saddle is over there to the left. I'm going to telephoto and then run over to the saddle if I can hold it steady enough.
We get past these trees.
And we get past these trees, as he said. Now I lost the mountain. Okay, there it is. That's the saddle. Right there. Can't see much in this picture. But that's where all of the microwaves are, and I'll take another picture from up there. That's one point where you can see both the Rio Grande Valley and the Astantia Valley is from the saddle.
I went right by it the other day.
Now we're coming into the village of Manzano. This is where we get off of the main road. We turn right here on this dirt road.
Behind this guy.
I think we're going to follow this guy to the mountain or something. And now we have 9 more miles of this kind of road, or worse.
Yes.
We're entering the national forest, a couple of miles up the road.
Here's people picking apples.
Yeah. We've got an aspen grove here that looks like the leaves are completely gone on it. Not much left of color on those aspen trees. We're still down the bottom 5 miles of the road, which is still fairly... It's uphill, but it's basically level compared to what you'll see in a little while. Well, here we are at the saddle. Okay, and this station over here, that's El Paso Natural Gas microwave station. This is looking down towards Berlin. If we get over here a little bit, I think I can telephoto in on John F. Kennedy Campground. Yeah, there it is. Okay, that's JFK Campground, and let me see if I can get the lake in it. Okay, I can't see the blue of the lake from here, but I think it's right about in the center of the picture there somewhere now. That's the Rio Grande Valley. That's Mountain Bell's repeater site. And then back up behind it, you can't see it, is the railway's repeater site. And we can't see much off here. If you look with the naked eye through the trees, you can see the Astantia Valley. But I'm sure with this camera you can't see much of it through those trees. And that's the road we just came up. And then over here is the road we're about to go on up around that corner. And I'll take some pictures from here on up in the truck. So here we go. I hope you get the effect of the road. It is several thousand feet to the bottom off the edges.
About a 90-degree angle.
We're back in the trees again now. This is the last half mile from the saddle up to the observatory. So you don't get as much of the effect of the steep edges because of the trees being so close to the road as you did down below that last 4 miles. Probably notice this is nowhere near as rough a road as the road up to the Merritt Mine down in Socorro. Still a dirt road, but it's not that bad. At least it is maintained. A little drop off there. Most of this long hill here is one of the deeper places. We get a lot of snow right on this curve straight ahead. Generally about 4 feet minimum. That's a pretty good drop off over there. Little road right here going off to the right is the road that leads down to the radio repeater sites. And here we are at the top. This walk-through gate, that's the gate to where our propane tanks are. This is all UNM permitted property on the right. That's the fire lookout tower up on top of the hill. I'll do a quick telephoto on it while we're sitting still. See if he's opening the door.
Guess it's full.
Nope. Okay, this is the gate. And the observatory is up there on top of the hill, under those black-looking clouds. The propane tanks are back over here on the side of the hill. Now we're going up the driveway. This is more like the road to the Merritt Mine. Less rocks, but just as rough. And here we have the observatory.
You put it up there.
Okay, here we are at the observatory. There's the bulldozer sitting in the back of the building. This is the workshop. Used to be a garage, it's a workshop now. The road we just came up. The old wooden building and tower. This is what we call the rolling shed. This has our other 24-inch telescope in it. It has no electronics on it. It's just a telescope to be viewed by the eyes. That's the old tower. And here we come out where we can see the fire lookout again. Now here we can see down into the Astantia Valley. I'm looking actually northeast right now. Maybe even more northeast. This is pretty near due north right here. Back across in that direction is Albuquerque. That's Bosque Peak, and Albuquerque is right on the other side of it. Now we're looking down into the Rio Grande Valley. It's kind of hazy today, so we're not going to get a real good picture of it. Try a little telephoto and see what happens. That is the Rio Grande Valley looking towards Berlin right now. And then we come back around, and there's the observatory again. Now I'm going to walk down in here by the bulldozer. I'll go over behind it because that's the best place to get a view of the Astantia Valley side of the mountain from. It's getting bigger and bigger, isn't it? For some reason. That's the cab. Now we're getting around behind it. Okay, those are the radio sites. I showed you that little road that went off to the right just before we got to the site here. That's the towers for some of the sites. These first couple of towers belong to Allcom Incorporated. They're the ones that take care of our service on our two-way radio that we use for radio telephone call in Albuquerque. And those towers go all the way down the mountain. There's nowhere near as many as there are on Sandia Crest, but there are quite a few up here. Now we come back around, and this is the Astantia Valley. And that road you see off in the distance there, that's the road that goes from Manzano on down to Mountain Air. Of course, we turned off in Manzano and came up the mountain from Manzano, which is somewhere right down in this area. And then the rest of the valley goes on off to the north. This is the back of the bulldozer. That's our sink and stove, kitchen table. refrigerator. This is our two-way radio. This is what we call the girls in the office from to let them know we're up here and whatever. Heater. Cabinet for our food. Okay, this is one bedroom, small bedroom with bunk beds in it. And here to the right of the cabinet we have the second bedroom. Right in there will be the bathroom. CV just turned on the lights in the living room so I could get a couple of pictures in here. There's a dark room inside that door where they develop film and whatever if they ever need to. This is sort of the living quarter. The pump is under that cover there for the pumping water up from the tanks into the building. This is the bathroom. Haha. Just what we need, huh? Okay, and this is what they call a warm room. This is where all of the experimentation and electronics and controls for the telescope are. All of the computer equipment. This is the rack with the UPS power supply. That box has the UPS in it and the batteries underneath of it. This is all of the computer equipment covered with plastic to keep dust, dirt, moths, whatever off of it. And then these are the doors going up to the observatory. CV, would you do the honors? It's going to be noisy. I hope you can hear me over the blower. There's a positive pressure system running that keeps air pressure in the building to keep the dust out. This is the door to the outside that's behind the bulldozer. And then these are the stairs going up to the observatory. Turn on the light here in just a second. It's not much light, but there's a little bit. This is the telescope, but I'll give you a better picture when I turn a floodlight on it. Okay. It's covered with plastic to keep any leaking water, snow, and whatever that comes in through the dome off of it. That's the shot from one side, the west side. And this is looking at the tube and the rest of it from the east side. And then this is CV standing in front of the workbench.
It's 45 degrees in here.
This is our little workbench where we perform any miracles that need to be performed on the telescope. And, yeah, you're right. It does seem to be about 40-something degrees. If you can figure out which needle is the one to read.
Min-max and actual.
Right. Well, we're getting ready to leave Capilla now. It's a lot clearer than it was this morning when we got here. I thought I'd take one shot and see if I could get the Sandias. They're just to the left of that hill right there. Yeah, you can barely see them. I don't know how they'll come out on the film, but right under those clouds and just to the left of that hill is the end of the Sandias. And now we're going down to the gate to leave. There's a little better picture of the valley. The haze is cleared off a little bit, not all of it, but some of it. And you can see the shadow of the clouds on the valley floor. This is a picture of a guy trying to figure out how to get a chain and padlock off of a gate who's only done it once before in his life, and that was this morning. But I'm sure he'll figure it out as soon as he gets the right key. I think I hear him talking to himself down there. Oh, he got it. Goodbye, Capilla.